Okay.
I hope our comedy is better than our podcasting. Welcome to Cour Va Much. It's
podcast,
with Mariusz, the Dujo Downer, and
The Dujo Downer.
the Freek Dutchman, and what was your thing? And Nick the Stallion.
Yeah. What was your thing?
The Stallion.
The Stallion.
You were Freek the what did he say?
Dynamite.
That's better than the.
I didn't even intend
That's how
to
I eat
do
pussy.
a horse, but I just can't help myself doing horses.
I know they're very attractive. You and Catherine the Great have something in common.
Yeah, my dog actually recently we walked past and he's like an 8 months old golden retriever, but we walked
8 months,
past.
dude. Come on, Jesus.
What?
Like, yeah, continue.
What are you saying?
I'm implying that you fucked your dog at 8 months. That's what I'm implying in case.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Clearly.
we were walking past these horses, and he just freaked the fuck out the first time, and I really had to drag him past, and we weren't even that close to it. And then the second time, he just stops to watch, and then I look at him, and like I look sort of underneath to like his belly area, and he was hard. Looking at these horses.
And then what did you do? Your two favorite things, horses and dogs. How did you control yourself,
I
Freek?
bought him a horse. Just a very small horse to fuck.
Oh, yeah?
That did exist, by the way. Like I looked online if there's something like a thing to hump for your dog, and it was sold out. It was not available for months. So it's very, very popular. This rubber thing for your dog to just hump
rubber?
on,
But
with a hole that you're gonna have
Wow.
to clean every
Yeah,
now
but
and then.
I
I guess.
feel so like a dog fleshlight. A dog fleshlight.
Yeah.
But I feel like dogs are like little kids, right? You buy them the fucking toy, they'll fuck the box, you know. Well, like kids, you buy them a toy, they'll play with the box.
Right.
Like a dog, you buy the fuck toy.
Isn't
they'll,
that
fuck
cats?
Yeah, it's rather
Cats too, and kids and dogs. I think the mental age is a similar level. Nice light now. The mental age of playing in boxes and things.
How long did you play in boxes for?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Are you still playing in boxes?
Well, I mean, that's all I had, right? That's all I had. We didn't have presents in South Africa. We didn't have much.
Did you
So
have a
we
lot
were
of
like,
boxes?
"There's a box. It's empty. Happy birthday."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Yeah, a box. Woo. Yeah."
And what would you do with the box?
I'd pretend I lived in a house.
Oh.
You know, because imagination.
So for Christmas you had the boxes, the boxes, and then in the box was another box. To
In the
play
box,
with.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Or just air,
Nice.
which is for free.
Yeah.
Which is also
So ready
good, yeah.
box.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have because we are old on this podcast.
We are one day.
We're
old.
already one episode old.
Ew.
But Mariusz is all new here, and Mariusz is part of Cour Va Much just as well.
He is just.
He
as much.
is from Poland, very obviously, with that name.
Yes, I
And
am.
he has a math degree, and he has a ukulele. So put
he
one and
plays-
one together,
Yeah.
and you have Mariusz.
Well, yeah. Hi, everyone. Cześć, mamo. If you're
You
listening.
made it. You fucking made it.
Yeah. I am on the podcast. That was a long time coming. I'm over 30. I had to do it.
Oh, this is the old podcast for Cour Va Much standards. We are the old fuckers
We
from
are the
Cour
old
Va
fuckers.
Much.
We know what we're doing. We got to let him in gently.
Yeah.
You know, the old Mariusz. Yeah. So you do maths. What kind of maths though? Is it all math? Or you focused on one specific type of math?
You have
And
to.
also, how
You
down the
have to.
rabbit hole do you go with, like,
Oh, I
sacred geometry and, all that cool stuff, and the Fibonacci?
Can I
and
just make the obligatory joke? Crystal? Go on. Sorry. So sorry.
Yeah, so
I hope someone out there got it because I didn't.
Crystal math. Okay.
crystal.
Sure.
Yeah, what
mean-
kind of math, bro?
I mean, is this a legitimate topic that we're going to talk about?
No,
It's
just say keep it
overthinking
as,
it. Jesus Christ.
just say geometry or
Geometry is
Z's,
as good.
X's, or
Yeah, sure.
or- yeah.
I know. I'm a fan of tools. I
You
saw a lot of
Tools. What kind of
lateralis-
tools? Like a screwdriver? Or
Yeah, I'm a fan
hammer?
of.
All those.
Yeah.
Also the music, where it's very mathematical.
Ah.
It's some people would even go so far as to
Right.
describe it as math rock, where everything's very timed and
Jesus
they
Christ.
lateralis use the Fibonacci sequence to
Yeah.
time the beats, and it's very 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 interesting, very fascinating, very mathematical. It's mathemagical.
Sounds
Actually.
super lame, but to be honest, I do know the rap equivalent to that.
Oh
to
yeah,
be honest.
and what,
Which is what?
which is what exactly?
I would say Tech 9. but
math rap.
just because of the flow
It's
and
quite the
rhyme
juxtaposition
schemes.
of words, isn't it?
Sorry? Math
What?
rap?
Math rap. How do you rap math?
You don't, but I would
Mathematical.
say just like
Totally.
some rhyme schemes can get very complicated. and,
Name me one good rapper.
like I said, Tech 9
Tech
would be,
9,
would
okay.
be
What's a rap?
the most crazy. But whatever. Let's discuss comedy,
I thought
bros.
that was Elon Musk's.
When
next
when
name.
did you decide to pick up the ukulele?
Oh, it was this one night that we had a comedy open mic, but I don't remember who kind of convinced Derek, the Derek Carreview, the host of the open mic.
'Cause he
to-
always takes care of you.
Yeah. So someone convinced him to do a variety show or something like that, and then I thought,
Which was the only time that we allowed blacks and gay people with this variety show. No, it was no. The variety show was. Let me explain. It was okay. We're also gonna allow people singing or doing poems or some shit like that, right? Okay.
yeah.
As aside from not just stand up. All right.
I think it's after the first. I listened to the
trying to
first.
hold that in.
I listened to the first podcast. I know that Nick was talking about his N-word story, so now we're following that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a high bar to keep up to.
That's true.
Yeah.
We do. You do.
So
But
anyway,
it's all
yeah,
jokes, so
a
it's
variety
all jokes,
show.
variety
We had a
show.
variety show.
Yeah, there was this
and-
variety show. I picked up the ukulele and I did a cover of the Beatles. Basically, that's
Was it funny? Because I wasn't there. I missed it for some
I
reason.
don't know. It was.
And then
of course it was.
I know.
Yeah, it was a classic moment in Wroclaw.
And then
Like
was it
history.
Kyle? Because then Kyle told me when I came back. Kyle said to me, "This guy, him and his ukulele. He's gonna be famous one day. He's fucking good with the ukulele."
He actually said that.
He did.
Oh, shit.
Maybe not in those words, but he
You got to
insinuated.
invite
Wow,
him.
Kyle is like
He said like
is like the
this man-
stepdad who's giving you nothing but tough love
Yeah.
in your face.
and he's like
But then
10
actually
years
he
old.
believes in you, bro.
That's real
What do you
love,
f-
isn't
what-
it?
Did you
That's
expect
real
that?
love.
Did you expect that he
No.
exactly? What the fuck?
What? Kyle to believe in anybody?
Yeah.
Man, he's a sweetheart deep down.
Mm.
He acts, but that's
How deep did you go?
quite deep.
Yeah.
Quite deep. Yeah. And it's just it's never ending really. It's never ending. That was
Still, I interrupted the story.
yeah. Gay joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tough luck. He's once we eventually have him on the podcast, people will figure out that he's
Oh, yeah.
as hard as he comes off. He does come off quite hard. I felt it, but he's deep down. He's actually really really soft and squishy.
So
Yeah.
the
Anyway, just the
variety
ukulele,
show.
the varieties.
The variety
Yeah.
ukulele, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I just did it. I had this song which I loved, and actually, it was really inspired by a version that Jim Carrey did of that song. So you can-
Oh, shit.
So clearly, you. Is this alright? It sounds very. So it's not as like warm as it was. So is this really Obviously, you were playing ukulele before, and like one of your inspirations. Oh, that's better.
You
One
should
of
be
your
closer, I think.
One of your inspirations is Bo Burnham, right?
And that's
like,
true.
So before you were already practiced, it's not like you picked up a ukulele and was like, I'm funny. Like it took a lot of effort and time and work and practice when you got to a level where you could first play ukulele, and then when did the comedy start coming in? Like when did that start? Like
that's a long story because I was
we got hours, dude.
sure I was
Well,
creating
That's why
some.
we're here. Oh yeah, 1 hour. But that's why we're here. To hear this.
I was writing some music. For years. I started in high school. I was in the band, of course. Everyone is in a band in high school. So I was in the band. I
tried to be. I wasn't good enough.
well, yeah.
I was in a rap group, bro.
Yeah, I know. I noticed
call
some.
that
Yeah, we'll get to that
Yeah,
because I saw some YouTube videos of Freek doing.
It's been a hard knock
Yeah.
life. It's been a hard knock life.
Yeah, so I had a lot of music. I was always doing some music, and I loved musical comedy. But actually, my inspiration at that time wasn't Bo Burnham, but Tim Minchin.
Oh, I loved him, Mitchell. Love him. Very good.
So
Does he have a ukulele? I don't know.
No,
He has a
No,
grand piano, that motherfucker. He's very-
okay.
Well, Tim Minchin is
Yeah, because that was
genius.
your act that you were
Yeah.
saving up for a grand piano, right?
Yeah, that's true. But so I had a lot of inspiration, but I couldn't write anything that was cheerful, because I have a very sad soul. So any music that I was doing was really sad and depressing, and
And woe is
Yeah.
me of my broken heart. Did you go through?
But then
were
you
going
found-
through a breakup at that point.
Mm.
Were you
Well,
having
well-
relationship troubles?
well,
No, he's just naturally like that.
Is
He's just fucked up.
because he was born in
He's
Poland.
Polish
Yeah.
through and
Yeah.
through.
Polish joke. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then.
So I and then I had to realize how to do it, how to do cheerful songs, and how to then try to make them, I don't know, funny.
Because what's funny about your songs is the underlying sadness within them.
Oh.
That I feel that's why it's funny. So you manage to harness that sadness and turn it into joy. And that's what's funny. That's what I like about comedy in general. Like my favorite comedians are the saddest ones.
Yeah, the ones that killed themselves.
Exactly, the edgy, those ones that.
Mm.
That's how it works. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Okay. So now.
Can I take a guess? Like it was because first you think, okay, I just have sad songs, but then you saw Bo Burnham and you thought, okay, I can make
try-
this work for comedy.
Yeah, that's basically
Was
was.
that it?
But first, I saw like this song by that Jim Carrey did. This "I Am the Walrus" cover by the Beatles, right? So it's this great song by the Beatles, "I Am the Walrus," and it's very funny. It's like the original version is already very funny, and then you listen to the version of Jim Carrey. He made it even funnier, and then you're like, okay, so let me try to do something that has this kind of energy, and then. I learned, like, I was never taught how to write music. I don't know anything about, music theory or anything like that. So I only knew how to, I took an instrument, I could create a melody. That's what I can do.
So you're self-taught
Yeah,
musician.
self-taught.
From
And
the
then
streets,
from
straight,
yeah.
up.
Me too, man.
Can I ask
Self-taught's the best.
what is actually funny about the walrus? Is it the cuckoo chew part? Or
Well, all of the parts. I mean, the way it started, this song, is just.
okay, I don't know.
But the cuckoo, some people say it's like go get a job.
Go get a job.
But it's
Cuckoo chews. Go get a job.
That's probably not. But I'm just saying that you can on the internet you can find some rumors.
Okay. Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. But actually, this phrase "cuckoo was used in a different song as well.
Bloodhound Gang.
By
Why what?
Bloodhound Gang.
Bloodhound Gang. Well,
Bloodhound Gang
that's
Me and you, baby,
That's
we
also
had nothing but chow.
comedy music.
Yeah.
Like comedy music.
That's
Bloodhound Gang.
true.
If you want comedy rock, man,
Wait,
Bloodhound Gang is
which
hilarious.
song was? Yeah, I just know them from like We Are Nothing But Mammals, but
Yeah, exactly. What? But
was it in that?
no, it's not. I'll have to look it up. But I'm a big Bloodhound Gang fan.
No,
and
I
they
was
say,
talking.
"Cuckoo-cuckoo."
I was talking about Simon and Garfunkel, but Bloodhound Gang is it's cool as well.
Oh, hilarious.
No, it's in Mrs. Robinson. It's actually there. It is cuckoo, Mrs. Robinson.
Really?
Yeah. If you,
So wait, Beatles were first then, right?
yes.
Cuckoo chew. We got to get to the origin of the cuckoo chew.
Yeah,
it has to
that's
be
true.
has to be known.
Yeah, we have to know that.
I bet my money goes back. My money is on that it goes back to like early 1900s, late 1800s. You'll be surprised at the fucking rap, the music that's created today. How far back you can take it. It's pretty interesting. Like the evolution of music is very fascinating.
Please go ahead, look
It's
that
very
up.
I'll do
Would
that
it be something
right
that chickens
now.
say just or?
Exactly.
What?
Which actually even proves my point. So the story, like how it could come about, I'm guessing the story could be like 1800s, 1900s guy on a guitar just being created, listening to some chickens outside, because why not? And and then that's where and then it's just evolved to today. Yeah, because nothing is very original anymore, is it? Like everything is based off of something else, and art itself is not original. Although I would disagree with that. I mean, how did new forms of music? I suppose they come from.
Yeah,
it all
exactly.
evolves.
Yeah.
But good bands are original. Like that's what makes an artist famous is originality. Van Gogh, Jackson Pollock, even though they're built on people before them, they have their own piece of identity and originality in their art, no matter what it is, comedy, music, and that's what makes the art special, is that originality. Yeah. Anyways, I'm finding history of. How do you even spell Kukukachu? Is it C or is it?
It's with C. I guess it's with C.
Kukukachu.
Yeah. You know, as a mathematician, I also was wondering, like, can music like be finished? Because we have only finite amount of notes, right? You can connect them only. Well, the notes, musical notes.
Yeah.
You can connect them in a finite amount of ways, and it's and then you have, well, of course, you can change the tempo and all that and stuff, but still, I was wondering if that there will be a day in human history when
it has to be finite.
It is finite, but I actually checked the math. It's billions and billions of possibilities.
Oh, really?
What's finite? What's finite?
But then some of those the number of songs you can make when you would analyze them per melody.
Yeah.
Like what tone comes first,
so
and
you're
then
saying
after,
it is
and then
finite.
after.
It is finite, but it's like a very big
but
number.
in that calculations, there's also like notes that follow each other that make no sense. So those would be like
true.
very experimental
That's true.
garbage.
That would be Lutosławski or something like that.
I don't know who.
That's like some
that's a dig at,
classic,
but sure.
Polish classic composer, and
Yeah,
some of his music is just like this.
You see,
God damn!
I have
you have some high art in this bitch.
I have found that I come from a country which the culture is only 80 years old, right? Okay, I guess the African culture is a lot older than that, but the white culture where I come from in South Africa is only 80 years old, and which is not that old. So there's not much art, there's not much music, there's not much culture. You know, I grew up with the belief that I'm white, therefore I have no culture, right? That I don't know. Freek's looking at me. Freek's squinting at me right now. He's like, "What the fuck?" But that's genuine, dude. That's genuine. I didn't think I had a culture because we celebrate Christmas and Easter. That's not a fucking culture.
Okay. I will say
I was not surrounded by it. But when I came to I'll finish.
Yeah,
but when I came to Poland, right, my first European country, which I'm living in, I am absolutely blown away and jealous of how much knowledge Polish people have of just general arts and culture. Of because Mariusz, you just mentioned some guy.
Lutosławski.
Yeah, but every Polish person I know that I've spoken with, like they just have a general knowledge of like artists and architects and musicians and old school people that I was never exposed to, just based off of history and general knowledge like that you guys learn. So you're very educated. Like high culture. I don't want to say people because I don't want to just assume it's Poland, but I'm assuming it's in general. It's the European education is a lot more. The culture is a lot more ingrained because this is where culture comes from, right? This Western culture. Whereas where I come from, it was very military based and just survival.
Okay.
Yeah, very very different.
Like
sport.
Because American immigrants, so basically everyone, except for the Native Americans, they very much like celebrate their original culture from Europe, like whatever they are. But I guess the South Africans then didn't do that.
Not really. Well,
they were not like, we got to keep this Dutch culture, this English culture, or that's the majority, right?
Yeah. Well, the general feeling is like the people who came to South Africa didn't much like where they came from. Like the Dutch who came, like, fuck this Dutch country and the monarchy. So they came to South Africa, started their own little community, and it was used as a trading port. And then more and more people came. They gave them land, and then they basically tried to get away from the monarchy, I guess. But they were very religious, still very religious. So the South African culture, at least white South African culture, is very much mixed with the locals. So the Dutch culture, people who speak Afrikaans, their culture is very much ingrained with the African culture because a lot of it comes from farming, right? All the farmers were black. And Afrikaans is called a kitchen language because that's where it came from. It came from the Dutch woman trying to communicate with the African woman in the kitchen. That's why it's called the kitchen language.
No spices. So
what are you doing? So that's why it's a very simplified form of Dutch with a lot of different expressions and things that are mixed with that, which is very fascinating. But I forgot the point. Anyway, can I just make cuckoo-cuckoo? Cuckoo-cuckoo is actually mentioned by Lewis Carroll in his book, and also Humpty Dumpty. Apparently, when in the book Humpty Dumpty, when he sneezed, he says cuckoo-cuckoo. But the first time it appears in a song is in 1968 by Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, wow.
In Mrs. Robinson.
So I said it all wrong.
Mrs. Robinson.
So I said it all wrong. So
Thanks to... Is that the one? Yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
It was also in Finding Nemo, I think.
Yes, it was. It says
Cuckoo, they come out. The turtle said that.
Yeah. Which in the 60s, early 70s.
He was a dude. He was a stoner. Like you could see that turtle fucking.
Yeah.
Somehow sub-ocean.
Yeah. So
he fucking blazed hard.
Sure, dude. Sure. I'm sure you can
probably
relate.
in his like he would probably take like his head
like
like
on a blowfish
inside
or something.
Oh,
and there's like air inside and no water, so he can like and he can just like smoke box with hotbox his own shell as a turtle.
What is he hotboxing in the water? Kelp, fucking.
No, like in his own turtle shell, he can hotbox.
Yeah, but what is he smoking? What?
Weed.
Seaweed.
Seaweed.
Yeah. But in the 60s, 70s, cuckoo was a way of saying all good, man.
Oh,
everything's okay. So
we gotta bring that back.
Cuckoo, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude.
What's it in Poland? It's spokoj.
Spoko.
Yeah. My favorite is jako tako.
That's something that my granddad would say.
Jako tako. In Chinese, my favorite word is also the same word or the same meaning is mama hoo hoo, which is also the same as
okay, but
jako tako. Mama hoo hoo. No one uses it, but it's an actual,
except for the Dragostar Dinte guys, I guess. Mama who? No, that's my.
No, that's,
sorry.
No, yeah.
This Moldovan band. Or whatever,
yeah. I'm surrounded by educated Europeans. I will not get most of the references here tonight. most likely.
However, we've got to
keep it simple, folks.
We've got to the secret of Cuckoo, so that's something.
That is something. We've achieved something tonight. Let's call it a day.
Because
22 minutes. Yeah, let's just wrap it up then.
No, but I was wondering before I came here, what we'll talk about, or what's actually a podcast. So podcasts are not very.
Did you not listen to our first one?
No, actually,
I listened. Clearly, he didn't listen to our first one.
Let him.
Okay, I listened to your first podcast, and also I listened to some podcasts, but not like a very big podcast guy. So I just like wonder.
I disagree.
I just like people just meet and talk about like this, right?
Well,
this is bullshit.
This is clearly bullshit. Yeah, this is absolutely dog shit. However,
yeah, I guess this is tough to see why you would have to do a podcast if you never like listen to them. But for people like us who don't have actual friends and you still want to listen to people talk, it's great
to feel
part of something,
a part of what friendship could be like.
Yeah,
to imagine what it would be like to have friends, people talk.
Oh, okay.
But also, actually, podcast, because I listen to a lot of podcasts. I do enjoy my podcasts, and I use podcasts to learn Polish.
Oh,
what?
Well, yeah, it's pretty interesting because you get you just get verbally abused by the Polish language, and then it helps your brain to like just get used to the fucking words and the noises and the sounds.
Verbally abused by Polish language.
Hey, by the way,
that reminds
that's
name
me.
of Nick's sex tape.
That reminds me, you had the ambition to do stand up in Polish.
Yes.
Did you ever do?
Not yet, because it's fucking difficult, dude. It's sort of because I'm still learning.
There's no way.
But the dream,
you would have
the
to
dream's
just
still there.
The
dream's still there. It's still there. I'm learning Polish. As soon as I get to a level when I can actually do 5 minutes on stage, I'm gonna speak to whoever I need to speak to get on to the sumo. And is it gone? And we fucked it up already. See, dog shit. And you don't understand.
It says it's okay.
Is it? And you don't understand the words. Because it's Polish is very complicated. You can't just like, that obcokrajowcem means foreigner or whatever. Like it's a lot more complicated because there's male, female, context, past, present.
The conjugation.
It's very complicated. So just trying to say what I'm trying to say without really understanding what I'm saying, that doesn't make sense to me, and it's hard to remember. So I'm still trying to learn the basics, like how are you? How was your day? hi, I'm Nick, I'm from South Africa. I'm still trying to get the basics and understand the male-female before I can start remembering words like opso krajowcem and like in much more difficult, hard to pronounce words, and for a whole 5 minutes, which is very complicated.
You know
But
that
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
there is a talk by Cyril, our
Yes.
friend,
Cyril
who did
Junior
a
Jim.
Polish,
YouTube Cyril Junior Jim.
yeah,
Ju-
a world
Junior
champion in speaking.
He is officially a what's the word? What is his title? He's a
World champion.
a Grand Master of Ceremony. Motherfucker's a Grand Master of Ceremony.
What is it again?
Cyril Junior Dim, just
Toastmasters.
YouTube
Toastmaster. Toastmaster champion.
Can I tell you what? I remember the day that I realized I wanted to become a comedian because I was doing Toastmasters in school, and I hadn't prepared because I was playing sport at the time, and the Toastmasters was after school, so I played my cricket match, and then I was sitting in the rain, right? I had been bowled out. Right, the batsman had been bowled out, so I was sitting in the rain during the game, trying to write a fucking speech.
You're saying that in this country of no culture, you're playing cricket and then going to Toastmasters. And I'm just curious.
Yeah, okay, so fucking high profile people who change the world through art and music. I can tell you all about cricket players and where they come from, and I can tell you all about sport, right?
So you got all that
I've
British
got British culture of sport, which means nothing. I'd much rather know about like artists and musicians and composers and architects than just sports. Like, what the fuck?
Sports.
How useless of a fucking activity is sport.
But
besides the cathartic effect but it
way
in general
better effect than looking at some dumbass painting or listening to some
I beg to differ
bitch-ass
that.
classical
But anyway,
music.
I'm bearing my soul here. So I wrote this. It was about David Beckham, right? So I was like 16 or 17. So I wrote a Toastmasters about David Beckham, a speech because I knew about him. So I just wrote everything I knew about him, I played a lot of football back then. So
okay.
yeah. So then I quickly wrote this like 2-page essay on David Beckham, and during it, I don't know, I was in the zone, and
How old were you?
I started working. Must have been 17.
Okay.
And I just started writing jokes, right? I was in the zone, and I cracked a few jokes. So then I took the risk, and I went up during my Toastmasters, and I said the speech, and it got a lot of laughs. And all the jokes I expected to hit, they got the hits.
You remember any of them?
Yes.
Yes, we have to hear
here we go.
them.
So the main one, the one
David
that
Beckham,
the one
more
where
like David Beckham string.
the one where the lights went on, where I got the laughs, and like the lights went on, like, oh shit, this is fucking, the feedback is so great, I got to do this again. Was David Beckham. Some people collect pieces of string. Some people or like post. What are those?
Post stamps.
Post stamps. Some people collect post stamps. Some people collect guitars. Some people collect alcohol. Not this guy. This guy collects Ferraris. Right. So that was
pretty good.
That was good. Yeah, like 17, right?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it was alright. And there was a few other little jokes littered in there. And then that like really. There was a light bulb, and I was like, fuck, I really like that feedback, man. I could do this again. Fuck, I can do this. And at that time, I was watching Bill Hicks and all that cuck, so... And that's really
Legend.
that was the switch. Yeah. What about you, Freek? Was there a switch? Was there like a time, can you remember, where you were like, oh, yeah, I want to fucking do comedy, man?
Wait, did we discuss this last time? But
Tell us again, because I forgot, so clearly everyone forgot.
So every week Nick is going to talk about how Afrikaans is a kitchen language. And then
True that.
And we have to talk about...
Until I remember, but this is for all the people who missed the first podcast.
No, I think it was on the second part that we didn't...
when we got
no, anyway.
off our tits.
No, yeah, we have great Dutch comedians like Mariusz knows because he's been obsessed by Hans Theeuwer recently.
Hans Theeuwer. How do you say it? Because I say Tuman.
Oh, wow.
How do you say it?
Hans Theeuwer.
Hans Theeuwer, because there's an N in there. So I pronounce the N, so you don't actually pronounce the N.
Oh, I know some Dutch. Victor taught me some Dutch. Grote lul, is that?
Grote lul.
Yeah. Is that word? Does that work? That's big dick.
Grote lul. Okay.
But because apparently that's what Victor always says when Freek goes on stage.
Grote lul.
Grote lul?
Yeah, he shouts that.
What?
Even I hear it.
Okay.
Is that like a go on?
No, it's
No.
it's like
Okay. It was.
Okay.
We've been duped again.
is
It was
the
a
word-
joke.
Is the word duas in your language?
What?
Duas.
Doors?
Duas.
Doers?
Duas.
What the fuck is that, bro?
that's das, but very hard,
Duas. Yes,
strangely
yes,
pronounced.
It's
Dus?
duas. It's a swear word in Afrikaans.
No, I don't know that.
It's a swear word. So you see, so I think that's maybe more of an African word. That's because it's an Afrikaans word, but it's a very
I cannot
vulgar.
even imagine what it would mean.
It's a very vulgar. It means box, which actually
Dose.
duas.
Yeah, dose is
D-O-
box. And that would be vagina.
Exactly. Yeah. So we say duas.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same, except our pronunciation is different. You
So
say
it's both your favorite present as as a kid, and then
and my favorite present today.
Things don't really change.
Yeah, not at all. All right. What about you, Mariusz? When did when did you feel like going on? Because I've seen this guy perform on stage without his ukulele, wearing a tinfoil hat.
Oh.
yeah, that's a classic move.
There was
Well.
before Mariusz was finding himself, he was in the character of obviously conspiracy theories, wearing a little tinfoil. He made a little tinfoil hat, and went on stage and was very energetic. But then he eventually found his ukulele and got into that.
Yeah. What was the tinfoil hat thing? Because the only thing that people remember, I think, about pre-ukulele Mariusz is... what was the song? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it?
About the COVID parties.
Yeah.
That's the song that they would sing, right? But yeah, what was the tinfoil hat bit again?
I don't remember actually. It was. It was
Just
what?
about
It started with
conspiracy
probably was
theories.
just like, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Conspiracy theories, tinfoil hat. That was probably it.
Was it?
That was the whole script.
Were you contradicting the idea of like? Were you commenting on conspiracy theories and how they were actually real, or were you saying that like everyday political decisions being made were conspiracy theories? Like what was was your juxtaposition
Well,
there? In the...
The context was, of course, that so I have my views on conspiracy theories, and I believed in a lot of them, like
When as
way
a kid,
back
like
as a
long
kid
ago,
in
yeah.
high school, let's say.
Same.
So
And that-
I think everyone goes through that period.
9/11 was,
No.
that was
Whole night
horrible,
like
that.
zeitgeist.
No,
Did
but that's
you-
definitely real.
Did you saw
though.
that
was an
that
inside
very
joke.
strange
Mm.
documentary quotation?
The zeitgeist.
Yeah,
The zeitgeist.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that
was a big
was
one.
hard.
That was a big one.
that was the thing.
All the Bilderberg group,
Yeah.
the 12 families.
Well, anyway, so that was the basic idea. But I saw people. What I saw when people go to open mics and they try to talk about their views, and they do it like very straightforwardly. No one actually takes them. It's just like it's a comedy show. That's why are you trying to impose some of your views now? So I thought, okay, I'll do this, but in a way that I'll just be like very strange and
Well, you were very strange.
and sing and
You were very, yeah. Okay.
well, yeah. But yeah, I just decided. I don't remember that the first time I went on stage trying to do stand-up comedy was in Wroclaw, but I wanted to do this for a long time. I don't remember when I first thought. So I was definitely missing anything creative and I don't know, expressing myself in a creative way. Because I was, as I said, I was in a band. I was creating a lot of music, playing some concerts. I actually played in Wrocław when I was in high school. I actually went once to a club.
What's your
this
biggest
Alive.
audience? Alive is good.
Yeah.
Alive is. I like Alive.
Well, once we did this thing where we invited our whole school. Like we actually just rented a bus and we put everyone.
So where did you go to school? How far were you from
it's
Wrocław?
like from Warsaw. I actually in Mazavian region. So I was like 100 kilometers from Warsaw. And we rented a bus. We put like everyone from school that wanted to just skip classes. We put them in that bus, and we went to Warsaw. We had this gig in a place that does not exist anymore.
Wait, was this a school band or was this like your own private band?
That was my private band. Yeah.
And then you somehow got the entire school.
Entire school, one bus.
You got a bus of school kids to come and watch you perform, and the school supported this.
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy, dude. That's fucking insane. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was nice.
very,
So that was
very
the biggest audience but we had to brought them with
Bring
us.
it. But that's fucking wild, dude. That's fucking wild. And how big was the audience?
Well, it was
Also,
okay.
that sounds like you're living the dream. And then how did that die? Why didn't you keep going?
Oh, it died just
And,
like
groupies, all that shit, man. What happened?
I
Come
don't remember. We had some. So I
You
was
turned to math. You're like, yeah, I know how to get pussy. Fucking maths. Yes.
in the ukulele.
And ukulele, perfect.
Yeah, not
Like these-
guitar. Guitar is for
Like
just
these
for,
stadiums playing at a live, which is a very nice gig, very nice place.
That was also nice.
Yeah. No, math.
So we were doing some music and stuff, and then I turned to as you said, to mathematics and other stuff, and this part of my life was actually lacking. I wanted something to like this to do, and I saw this, I don't know, on Facebook that there's this open mic. I came to the first one, and there was like 5 people in the audience.
How old
Or so. No, it was like
a
2
year ago.
years
what,
or a year
2
ago.
years?
Ah, so you really knew at this.
Yeah, I'm really new. Yeah.
Yeah, what made you want to go and do it though? Like what made you?
Oh yeah, always wanted to do this. I was doing. Oh, actually, I was doing in school. We were doing some comedy, but I had my like a group of friends, and we were doing always all the sorts of occasions that you have in school. That you have some performances. We would always go there and do some sketches and stuff. I would ask people to dress up as like, it's a perfect gig. You just take a guy who's really funny. You make him to dress up as a girl, and the whole school laughs, and that's basically it. And it's also a small town school. It's a small town school.
Was it like a theatre school? It sounds like
No, it wasn't.
It sounds
No,
like it was cool teachers who allowed you the freedom to do that and to express yourself in that way and give you the opportunity to a very supportive environment. That's very cool. Because I know a lot of schools. I mean, no, it's not going to happen. Yeah, that's very cool.
Well, yeah, it was nice. So I was doing that, and we had some sort of comedy things that we did, but it's like compared to that, can you feel it? It's not very embarrassing. Let me tell you this. Like we do a ballet dancing thing with my fur, and we're just wearing some kind of.
Okay. So where's your band members now?
Oh, they're all over in different places in Poland. Different
the band
cities.
broke up and you guys are you still in contact with them or?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, so not like
my brother was in the band, so I have to be in contact with that guy.
Didn't have a choice.
Yeah. But anyway, so I decided to do this stand-up thing, and I really wanted to do it. I didn't know if I'm good at it. I didn't know if I can be good at it. I just wanted to have fun, and it's still like this. I just want this to be engaging. We're not like professionals. We're not. The silence. Are you professionals, guys?
No. We recently talked about this. That in Wrocław is just not gonna happen, right? Like you.
Well. Can I just say? Like, actually, I'm actually feeling pretty good about being in Wrocław after doing comedy.
Because so we talked just before going to Warsaw.
Yeah, he was so pumped up. He was like, "Oh yeah, Warsaw is the place where you just
because I mean,
get big."
To me, well, I mean, first of all, capital city. So why wouldn't you, right? Capital city. Why wouldn't you? Like you'd think that's where you're gonna go. Sure. You can do comedy 3 times a night. So Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So you can test your jokes 3 times a week. Where in Wrocław, you can only test your jokes once a week, right? And it's the same fucking audience, so it's quite difficult to work on your jokes and to test them with the crowd. However, the benefit that Wrocław has is that the crowds are very large. We actually have a good amount of crowd, and we're at the point now where we have quite a good fan base. Because plug. Tomorrow, Joketoberfest, go on. Whenever you release this, it's not going to be on there. However, whoever's listening to this shit, so tomorrow we're going to be playing, and so far we've got like 76 people coming, right? Who said that they're coming to our event. So we have
Surowiec, right?
Surowiec, that's right. So we're doing a show at Surowiec. We've done shows. This is like our 6th, 7th show at Surowiec. We've done shows around Wrocław, and Cour Va Much is doing pretty well in terms of comedy. Right, but we have a good fan base. We've got a good following, and people know us. I know this because I told a couple to sit down in the front for me I was just saying, oh, I'll sit in the front because there's space in the front. And they're like, yeah, no ways, I know you. You're going to talk to me. Fuck off. So like, and I didn't know them. So like people do know us. People do know who we are. Like we have a good following. And that's why our jokes are funny. So when I took the same jokes that killed in Wrocław, completely bombed. Even Kyle, like his really hard-hitting, funny jokes, dead silence.
That's weird.
Dead silence.
Yeah, his shit is like...
and it's also
like
very
Jimmy Carr. It's like tested. It should be easy.
Yeah, and it's also very universal. It's not like contextually based. You're not talking about Wrocław things.
Yeah,
it's it should be funny everywhere, but dead silence. And I think it's just that what we learned is the crowds. We've got to get used to doing comedy with different crowds.
Mm-hmm.
That's something also like a skill that we haven't learned yet as comedians is knowing how to do comedy in front of different crowds and knowing how to warm the crowd up before you say the word, I don't know, like rape. You've got to warm them up to that. You don't just go in like, oh, they're saying their rape joke killed in Wrocław. Clearly, it's going to kill here. No, it's not. The people don't know you. They just think you're a rapist. So like, you've got to like know how to warm the crowd up. You've got to, and that's what we learned. But also, the crowds in Warsaw were so even though you could do it 3 times a week, they were very small.
It's also just because
general,
in Warsaw there's a 98% rape percentage. Like almost everyone in Warsaw has been raped. So if you mention rape in Warsaw, it's there's a 98% chance that they have been raped and they feel very bad.
Mariusz is responsible. That's why he ran away from Warsaw to Wrocław. Hey, Mariusz.
Yeah, and the rape percentage in Wrocław is a lot lower.
I don't want to comment on that. But I did the same thing. I did the same thing. I went to Warsaw after because so I was doing some ukulele and singing here at the Mleczarnia open mics and at Cour Va Much shows that we did. And I tried it in Polish first at this open mic, this sumo open mic. I tried it. Yeah. It was
the Polish open mic.
It was like the best performance I had like ever.
Oh, yeah. So why did you switch to English?
I was like, okay, so I think in Polish it will just work as well.
Keep going. I'll get the beer.
So I went to Warsaw, exactly the same thing that you did, and in Warsaw that fucking bombed. It was like I did the usual stuff that worked.
But last night when I went in Warsaw on Tuesday, Wednesday, dude, I bombed as well, completely bombed.
Yeah, but I bombed in Polish, right? So I was like, it's okay. So I bombed in Polish, and the whole show was very strange, and most of the people that I would say probably shouldn't bomb. Except that that was a Polish open mic and some like celebrities or superstars on the list, and of course the superstars, they did well because people knew their faces and it was
they know who they are, so that's like
plus I guess if you're at that level, people are willing to laugh at your shit more. Like it's just an authority thing.
Well, that's what I learned. So like we in Wrocław, that's
right.
But that's what I'm saying. So in Wrocław, people know us, so they're more willing to like laugh at us.
That could be it actually.
Yeah, that's what I definitely felt. But
like
also
they know that we're joking, even though that should be abundantly clear.
Yeah, but even
by the fact that it's a comedy show and there's just a guy with a mic on stage. Yeah.
But even in Warsaw, like the best comedian in Warsaw, like the biggest laughs that they got in the audience weren't that big.
But you're talking about.
So wait, there were some guys there.
There were guys there were some really good. Yeah, just us two. But and also Mike performed for one show. But even the funniest guy in Warsaw that was killing it. It wasn't like that big of a loss.
It's
like
just
it wasn't
because
like that big. Like
if you get raped all the time,
dull audience.
Life is not
that
funny.
No sense of humor. There's no sense of humor.
Yeah.
Whereas here, like,
because you just know, like you're probably on the way home, you're gonna get raped. Yeah. Some of them already got raped on the way there, so life is just not funny.
Not at all.
That's Warsaw.
I saw it on the news. It's mostly taxi drivers or the rapists.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday as well. That Bolt and Uber drivers are just.
It's crazy. Yeah,
some of them. Wait, are you making jokes now? Or is that real?
That's real.
This one is.
I saw that too.
PSA for the people.
This one is true.
Oh, is it? It's the same in South Africa. Even for me, my parents were very nervous about me
getting raped.
Yeah, doing comedy in South Africa and coming home. Well, in South Africa and doing comedy shows late. My mate was like, if you ever take an Uber, even during the day, you fucking share that ride, dude. You share that ride because you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
And it's cheaper.
Well, it was you, but
what you're basically saying is that your parents are cheaps.
No, you don't share the money, right? You share so people can see
Plus,
where
you
you're
can
going.
share the rape.
People
also.
can see where you're going, and like they can know like if where the guy's going. So you share your location, which is quite a serious thing.
You know, because I also like coming back to Warsaw, I had a different experience. I went to this comedy hall thing. So I did
the comedy hall. Yeah, that's right. The comedy's great, dude. Yeah.
So I went to the Polish open mic, and that was a disaster. I bombed, and I was like, okay, I'm never doing comedy in Polish.
Oh, come on, dude.
Never.
We've all bombed bad.
No, I'm just
okay.
at that time, you know.
Oh,
I just when I got off the stage, I was like, So but then I went to the comedy hall, the English, and well, it was a very nice reception, very nice place. And people, I did a song, and after, I don't know, second chorus, they were singing with me. I was just like blown away.
That was in the comedy hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
comedy hall is just better. I want to go there.
But the comedy, so everything's been consolidated, like globalization. So the comedy hall in Warsaw, they run all the open mics in Warsaw. So if you see an open mic in Warsaw, it's all the comedy hall. Yeah, they. But I think it's very good because you only have to contact Beatrice, an Italian girl, very pretty Italian girl. You contact Beatrice, she'll get you an open mic there, or she'll tell you where to go.
No, that's some gangster shit. I don't know.
So she runs.
Yeah,
so
she's from the mafia. You have to know.
Exactly. So she runs all the comedy halls in Warsaw,
mafia.
and it's pretty good. Yeah, it's a good gig. I know I spoke shit about it later, but it's actually a very good gig. I'd definitely go back. I love the place. Please have me back.
I don't know if I would ever go there because one, just being afraid of all the rape. I also have to now, if I go on there, I have to be funny. Otherwise,
they're gonna rape you.
Everywhere where I go is part of the comedy mafia.
Yeah.
And if I'm not funny,
but
then
the thing is, what do you do? Because if you're funny, they're gonna rape you. If you're not funny, they're still gonna rape you. So you gotta like, which ones?
So you just gotta be open.
Do I
want to
be hate fucked or do I want to be like laugh? I don't know.
Yeah.
Funny fucked. What does that look like?
Funny fucked is the synonym for rape. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, of course.
I just gotta keep the bar up.
Because rape is funny. That's right.
It clearly wasn't. I can tell you that story.
We've just isolated all our female audience members. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, also when you describe Beatrice, was that
who?
The one who runs the comedy.
The one who
everything.
Beatrice. Or however you say Beatrice in Italian. I don't know.
I think probably something like Beatrice.
She's Italian?
Beatrice,
yeah, she's Italian.
She's
from the mafia.
Fucking
I told you.
hell.
Beautiful Italian. That's where all the mafia jokes come from.
Ah.
Yeah, because she's Italian. Yeah.
I was just saying that because the shit's
how many? I have to mention.
You said that you can do stand-up comedy there in English every day. So there's at least 7 places.
No. That was an over-exaggeration. That was a very enthusiastic over-exaggeration. The real number
is just like 3.
The real number is 4, 3 or 4, depending on the day.
It's still not.
It's still 3 is more than 1, right? 3 is more than 1. Wroclaw 1.
I don't know. Ask this guy, not me. He's the mathematician.
Yeah, 3.
He's mathemagical.
3 more than 1.
Yeah. That's so 300%.
Yeah, wait. I yeah, it's actually more. Yeah. Okay.
It's just a little bit more.
So it's more. So
so it's pretty good.
But these 4 places are run by the same Italian woman.
By the same mafia.
Not necessarily running, but like I had to contact her, and then she basically got me the gigs at all the 3 places, or the 2 places, because I was only there for Tuesday and Wednesday, and she got me the gigs for those 2 places, and she seemed to be the big bitch. She was the big bitch. She knew what she's doing. What's wrong with that? That's a compliment.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Is that not a compliment?
Of course.
Is that not a compliment? She's the fucking.
She's the main. She's
the
the main bitch.
She's the comedy pimp.
Sure, but I'm
she's
just
pumping
saying.
out all the comedians to all the holes.
That's the rape mafia over there. That you're
to me, that's a compliment. If whoever thinks
pretty.
Big bitch to me is a compliment. If is the big kahuna.
Yeah.
Not with big kahunas, but with big fucking.
Tell me, are you single?
Yeah.
Yes.
That just.
Ooh.
So all the pretty, beautiful, and all that is now explained.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay. Right. Well, you got to see it, but I mean, also it doesn't mean.
First date, you just got to compliment them with like, I think you're a big bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's great.
No, that was
like a big kahuna.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but so do we have a maid in Warsaw now? Like, can we go there as a
maid
bigger group? Do we have it made?
Oh,
do we have the connections? With
yes,
the mafia?
absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. If you unless I've ruined it tonight, I think that definitely we made some good contacts. There's some really nice people there. So
Big bitch. Like I really envision a Cardi B right now.
No, when I said big bitch, I meant like she's the big boss. She's like the big boss. Yeah, that's what I meant. Big bitch. Yeah. She's like the big boss. And also, it's said with obviously love and fucking comedic effect. So if anyone has a sense of humor, you'll fucking get what I'm trying to say.
Just depends on has she been raped.
No,
again recently, and she will hear this.
There's Frank trying to up the bar again. Now you're upping the bar, dude. You're not keeping up. Now you've raised the stakes.
Because I'm getting
the
stakes.
I don't think
in front of Mariusz of all people, like with Victor, fine. But you're bringing. Oof, this guy is a soft little puppy. This one.
So okay, I'm trying to understand this. So my understanding is that there's a group of comedians in Warsaw that run rapists mafia.
An Italian rapist mafia.
That. Just you go off comedy shows, and there are people waiting for you.
In Warsaw, there's always rapists waiting for you. It's 98%.
98. That's a lot. That's a lot. I heard 102, but 98. It's still a lot.
Think about that 2%. Like what are they? What are they doing? Are they just staying home, or are they?
That 2% was me and Gael.
I believe there's more than 100 people in Warsaw.
Maybe like some homeless people.
But again, you would have to ask the mathematician.
Yeah, the mathematician. The mathematician. Yeah. So overall, it was a good gig. There was some very fucking excellent comedians. I think one of the best comedians I've ever seen.
Yeah. Wait, how did you guys do compared to the others then?
It's very difficult to say again because, as I said,
so you didn't. That you just were.
You were shit then. Okay.
Hold on now. Those comedians, right? They had their just like we have our audience. Those guys, they have their audience. The people know them.
Yeah.
So a lot of them that killed, and there were also really good ones that were really funny. And that's what I'm talking about, like the Warsaw audience. There were guys that were really, really funny, but there just was no feedback from the audience. Like even though their jokes were killing, I thought they were hilarious. As a comedian, I identified them as good comedians.
Yeah.
But they just weren't getting that feedback from the audience. There was no vibe. Yeah, it was very. So the audience, there was a woman sitting.
Wait, were any of them sort of more pro that you know of?
Yes, there's a Zimbabwean guy. I encourage everyone to look him up. It's called Zinger.
Zinger.
Yeah, he is fucking killing it, man. He is good. Zingers, he
had a lot of zingers.
He did indeed.
Nice.
He's a Zimbabwean guy. He's doing very well. And he was the main guy. And then we have Jordan, who's coming. He's actually coming to Wroclaw next week. He's got like an American tour. I don't know. I thought he was from America
because of the connections you made there, or
no, he was coming here already.
He has just some in most of the biggest Polish cities. He just visiting.
Yeah.
So he'll be in Wrocław in Academia club or
So
Academia. It's fucking small.
Yeah. But it's
so it's not. But I mean, the fact is, he's doing better than us, isn't he? He's fucking.
It's the
touring.
smallest bar you can go to.
Yeah, but he's fucking touring, isn't he? And we're not.
He's very good.
Okay. Sure. Oh yeah. Don't mean to call him a big bitch or something like that. no disrespect.
Beatrice is the big bitch. She's the one that makes all the decisions. She's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
You're gonna say
now
something.
We're really gonna get it right.
And then
Holy shit! This is it.
Here we go.
No.
Cour Va Much. Friday, tomorrow, we're going to be doing a huge performance. And Nick, your host, and we have all the Cour Va Much fans. Again, Mariusz is going to be on ukulele. Freek is going to come in with his jokes.
Flannel shirt
or some shit like that.
That's for sure. Yeah, because I put it in the Facebook post, so I have to wear my flannel. And also I'm coming on with a Friday the 13th intro theme song, so I'm going to have to be flannelled up.
Yeah.
Are you going to flannel up?
Are you going to?
No. I'll.
Are you going to be telling the Ken and Barbie joke?
No. I got a real story about
an actual story.
Because there was a show called Pulp Not Fiction by Worldwide Comedy recently that I missed because I was in the Netherlands, and they were telling real stories about drugs. And that was I
was sick for that. I wanted to tell a story about going skiing and doing, but I'm
skiing on drugs.
Yeah, but I was sick, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah, so I was gonna tell the story about me being participating in an experiment where I was paid to do coke and weed.
And you were
So,
never
yeah.
the same after that.
No, because they were asking for regular cocaine and weed users,
And you weren't a regular. Because you were a little pussy bitch.
yeah,
Come on, man. From the
like,
Netherlands, you weren't doing...
I was regularly doing weed, but coke not really. So I had to lie my way into there a little bit.
So you ended up still doing coke?
I still, yeah.
With the coke, okay.
Yeah, because that was the experiment. You were sober.
How did you know it wasn't a trap? How do you know, like, haha, got you, cocaine addict, when are you in jail?
That is exactly something I have in my bit. Nice.
Okay,
because it's the Netherlands, so I had faith.
In the law. In
I
human
had
rights
faith
in Europe.
that this was real.
Okay, and it turned out to be real.
It was real.
Okay.
So
very
one
good.
day. So every day, 3 days, you come in, you get in there into that. It was a hospital, university, and every day it was 3 days. So every day you get a pill, and you get a balloon, a bag to suck up, and the bag was either one of the days it was filled with weed, and 2 other days it was filled with lavender.
What's that?
Huh?
What's lavender?
A plant.
Yeah.
Oh, lavender.
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 Oh, that's
Oh,
good
wow.
to it's good to know how to actually pronounce that for my bit tomorrow. And you would get a pill every day, which one day would contain cocaine, and 2 days it would contain flour or something.
Oh, okay.
And
You had to sniff the flower?
no, it was a pill.
Oh.
You wouldn't really. No, you didn't have to sniff cocaine.
I thought that's how
That
you...
would be gangster.
I thought
but
that's how you take cocaine. You can
Oh, you can.
just
Yeah,
There are
digest
different ways.
cocaine?
Why not?
There are different ways.
It's
yeah.
just.
I thought the only way was to smoke, was to sniff it.
No, it's
Or
just a
smoke
little
it
bit
like
slower.
Oh, man, fuck that. Okay,
What?
but and you were a student.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
Here's the question. I think everyone would be interested to know. When they gave you the drug,
Yeah.
would you obviously you got real high?
Uh-huh.
What did they let you do? Like, did they then test you and it was like a terrible
Yeah.
experience because you were like, fuck, I can't even enjoy my high? Or were they like, all right, here's a bunch of snacks and fucking
I was
put on like Cheech and Chong?
I
movie or
guess
some
for some
shit?
people
Uh-huh.
it would be bad because indeed you're in one
Was
what
it-
is it 12 square meter room and
In
you're
white?
just doing you have these nodes on your head like to I guess they test like brain activity as well.
Yeah.
And you're just doing emotional facial recognition tests, gambling to see how much you gamble probably.
Did they show
hand
porn?
hand-eye coordination. Some
Did your hand-eye coordination get better after being stoned?
uh,
Did you remember like
I
some of
was
the tests?
the
Did you do?
weed. I was so damn high
Okay.
because seriously, they brought in like the vaporizer. And he brought it in. I was like, "Oh shit! You guys got the Volcano, like the best brand ever."
Yeah,
And then
good
he
weed,
starts blowing
hopefully.
up the damn bag, and it to completion. Like it was, what is this? 80 centimeter big ass bag that I would normally
So
share
you-
with
you-
5 people or
Yeah.
something. They gave it to me like, bro.
Did you have to smoke all of it?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. And then you would have to do another dose because this was in the morning. You came in like from 9 to 4,
And Freek was
so you
never
would
the
smoke in the morning, and take the pill, and then around 12 you would get the second dose. But they would also like measure my blood pressure and everything, and they with both the cocaine and the weed, they just said, no, dude, your blood pressure is way too high for us to give you the second dose because we've just given you enough. Yeah.
What were there guys that you met there that could just take like who could smoke?
It was no. I was alone with this doctor.
So you never
we
met
didn't say
anyone
much. No.
like- You weren't like, wow, that guy can smoke. You never met anyone.
Yeah, that'd be cool if it was.
Because
a
maybe
bigger,
they were like, well, this guy can fucking smoke a whole fucking bag Volcano.
Right. Yeah.
Clearly, we need to we need to find like a standardized level.
Well, they would also ask you in a questionnaire, like beforehand, like in the morning, how you feel. If you feel high already, of course you don't. and then like after taking your dosage, you get the questionnaire again. And to me, it was just like when I was high on weed the first day, like the scale was from here to here, and I just put it like at the end of the paper, like beyond the scale, because I was like, yo, I'm out of space, bro. So I don't know if that whole my whole participation was just X'd out because like, oh, we can't use this because it's not in the scale.
This guy's a little bitch.
Like, oh shit, we spent all this coke and weed on this guy, and he flunks one question on the questionnaire. We can't use it now.
What about the cocaine? What did they make you do when you're on cocaine?
The same test. Obviously, the 3 days you do the same tests because that's what they're comparing.
Okay.
But yeah, holy shit. Also the cocaine, like I said, I wasn't a regular. I just tried cocaine like twice, and
good drug, isn't it? Fucking.
It's just like a lot of coffee or something.
Yeah.
So it made me very nervous.
Nervous, really?
Yeah.
I think I bought some cocaine from a Nigerian guy once there in South Africa. I think it was cocaine. Well, I mean, I can only assume it
maybe
was
with
cocaine.
speed.
Maybe it was flour.
Yeah, well, I mean, it got me. I just felt really good, very energetic. Like it felt like I had like 10 Red Bulls at once, except without like the heart palpitations, and like I felt good, like ready to go with whatever. Start a business. Whatever.
Well, so that's strange. I thought that you're always on cocaine when you go on stage. It's just like, oh, no.
Is that how I look? Is that how
there are some questions from different people.
Dude, that's interesting. Well, that's good to know. No, it's good to know. I didn't know that. No, well, fucking, because you come to, look, you come to flipping Poland, and everyone just fucking, to Europe, right? Europeans let me give you some cultural insight here, right? White people are very fucking boring and bland. Really, they are. Yeah. You guys are as if I'm
as a white guy. This was
as a white black, as a South African.
Right.
I think that Freek also identifies as black.
Yeah, and without the culture, right? I know what black culture is because I grew up with it. You know, I grew up in hostel, especially where most of the guys were black, so I experienced. But that's the point. Let me stick to the story. The story is that you have a black friend. Yeah. No.
Whoa.
Do I?
Cool.
Do I have a real black?
Where did you get him?
I do actually. In Africa. Oh wait, you can pick him up for free, dude.
Oh, there's loads of them
there. You just don't have to be racist.
Right. Oh.
That's right. You just can't be racist. Yeah. Anyway, so
Tuffy.
Fucking in white people are just Americans. Americans are also white, but they're off their rockers, dude. They're mental. So when you go do comedy in America, it's very high energy. Everyone's already ready to have a good time. When you come to comedy in Europe, like Warsaw, even Wroclaw, like they'll stare at you, looking at like they look at you, going, "Make me laugh." Right? I'm not ready to laugh. Make me fucking laugh. And it's brutal and it's hard. And then they just stare at you and they give you a little chuckle. Right? But when you go to...
But if you make them laugh, that's really satisfying.
Yeah, but it's also... But also they're very self-conscious. It's almost as if they don't want to... Like the audience doesn't want to laugh. Whereas... So what I learned is if I bring the energy... And I don't want to say the words force feed, but if I project a certain energy and feeling, they then reciprocate with that energy, right? And I learned that, and I learned that in South Africa especially is, dude, Africa, like black people, they're ready to have a good fucking time. Like even if it's for free, at the open mics when it's for free, Oaks are ready to have a good time. They're already laughing before you're even on stage. Oaks are having a good time. It's almost impossible to bomb.
Right. Where it's impossible to bomb?
In South Africa, dude.
In South Africa.
Okay, let me be very specific. In Johannesburg, where it's predominantly black. In Cape Town, where there's a lot of white people, they're very judgmental. And Cape Town in general is a very judgmental...
What do you think that is?
Piece of shit fucking...
Because that's the same
city.
Country, but...
Well, it's very...
It is the fact that they're white.
So they think that they think
a good time.
No, it's because there's also colours, right? There's a lot of colours. Well, I mean, it's coloured central, and like that's where all the colours live, and that's where they go to. So, and I don't mean coloured as in black. I mean as in like a certain type of. I think I explained.
Oh, you're not talking about like the US in the 70s. I think I
explained this in I explained this in the previous podcast, like the difference in culture and colours.
So
like Trevor Noah's coloured. You know, if you watch Trevor Noah, just watch Trevor Noah. He'll explain to you.
I don't want.
So the point is that in South Africa, in Cape Town, they're very pretentious and they think they're better than the rest of the country, right? And it's very difficult to make those people laugh. They're very, the word's pretentious. They're fucking pretentious. But in Johannesburg, everyone's just having a good time.
Yep.
And
Sure, but you mentioned that
great.
it's
and
also
the
like
energy, the energy that they brought, dude. The hosts, the way I saw the hosts perform, like in Krakow, there's a guy named Marek, I forget his name. His surname, but he's the host for the Krakow Comedy Club. That guy is fucking amazing. He as a host, he does fantastic crowd work. He brings the energy. He he makes people laugh. And when he introduces you on stage, you fucking feel it. You feel good. Oaks are ready to laugh, and you go on. He
go
creates,
on and bomb.
He creates the wave. He creates the wave, and all you have to do is ride that wave, right? And that's what they do in Johannesburg. They create the wave, and you just have to ride that wave. Whereas in Johannesburg and in
servers, dude.
And in exactly, and in Europe, it's a little more difficult. So that's why I bring the energy, because I'm trying to create my own fucking wave.
What do you think that is about European audiences?
I think it's just white culture. I think it's just culture.
White culture.
the white culture.
I think it's culture. Like I quite enjoy like the slow. Like, because my favorite comedian is Stuart Lee, right? Which is also very slow, very, very, what's the word? Very calculated. His comedy is Stuart Lee's comedy is very calculated, right? And there's long pauses. But then when he hits that punchline, man, boom, there's laughs. So like in Europe, it's not like high energy like in America. But so I would say like Johannesburg in American comedy is very similar. There's high energy, people are ready to laugh, have a good time.
Is it just that Europeans are
Did you
smart?
do stand up in America?
I haven't, but you just watch it, dude. You watch fucking American stand-ups. Oaks are having a good time.
All the time. On DVDs.
Yeah, the black people
on
standing up
DVDs.
No, but even on like YouTube, you watch like amateur comedy fucking.
Well, maybe not in places where I was.
Fair enough. Maybe not all. Yeah, fair enough.
But so I think that what happens also in America is that stand-up has a long history there. So it's, like people are fed up a little bit with stand-up, and also everyone has to drive a car. If you're not in New York, because maybe that's in New York or something, but everywhere else you have to drive to a comedy show. You have to drive there, right? So you have to be like, okay, so this is a really a thing I want to do. So most of comedy clubs probably have something to eat, because you have to. And then the Buffalo Comedy Club, where I was, the Helium, and their slogan is eat, drink, laugh, right? So that's basically
they hit you with
the story because you have to drive there, you have to be there. So there's no.
You think some people are there?
You're not
just
there
to
for
eat?
half an hour, 2 hours. You're not there
Not
for half an
even.
hour. You're there for like 2 hours.
You also have
hour.
like two drinks minimum if you wanna buy things like that, and also so there are
But
no.
that should be good for the stand-uppers. That people are a little
sure.
loaded.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's not like that in America. Everyone is over enthusiastic and they want to be like, oh, I'm entertained already. Now I just want to hear some jokes about rape and.
Okay, so maybe then there's all white. So I mean, to be fair, I mean, what access do I have on YouTube to watch? Only like probably high. Even when I watch like the amateur comedy, it's still very like high energy. Whereas, it's still in Africa, even in Johannesburg in the open mics.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's
just
great,
watch. But
man. There's so
just
much energy there.
But last week, or what was this week actually at Lacharnia on Monday, people were just like,
it was great.
Wow.
Yeah, they were generous.
The first person who went on stage and they were like, yes.
And I think that's also because we have a following, right? Like, so people know us.
This was mostly students.
They don't.
There was what 50-50 of newcomers and old people.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, the old people
students.
I can raise the bar there, and if half is laughing, then the rest are gonna feel the because everyone did very well, and that's also what I said. Like because people know us, and this is our
Freek is shaking.
This is our audience. This is our.
I would just make my wheel noise.
This is our town. People they come to see us now. They're not coming for an open mic. They're coming to see us. That's what I think.
That's ego. That's your ego.
Not me. I just mean like they know what's available.
The repeat offenders.
Yeah, they know what's available. They know what's fucking coming. So like.
And also
they're ready to laugh because they know what's
also they
coming.
just.
It's gonna be great.
I think the effect might be that they just know us. They treat us as
That's what I
colleagues,
just said.
friends,
Yeah,
and stuff. Right. So
that is nuts.
They're not just colleagues and friends. They're not just colleagues and friends. They're also like
Admirers.
admirers, students, people who come, repeated offenders who aren't related to us at all.
It is pretty crazy. Like once we talked to some girl, or maybe she was just letting me on to believe something, but she was like, I never dared to like speak to you guys because you guys are so funny. I thought you guys would like make fun of us, and
then you raped her.
It wasn't Warsaw, so I felt like it wasn't appropriate. I felt like maybe. So I didn't think she was ready for a taxi ride for 5 hours to Warsaw and rape her there, but
Okay. So
and
you
she
just
said
proved my
what?
point. You just
Yeah,
proved
there
my point.
are-
You proved my point.
we got groupies.
With groupies,
Nah,
yeah. Well, no, we got admirers who are very shy to talk to us.
That is
like-
nuts.
Well, Nick, you're so full of yourself.
Oh, thanks. Wait, right now or on stage?
No, just right now on stage.
Right now, yeah.
I
Do
don't
you see?
know.
I'm not talking about myself. Though. I'm talking about us. Like everyone did a great job, and all I'm saying is I bring. The reason why I was just trying to explain why I bring
Sure,
a lot
and
of
you
energy.
bring that energy.
I bring the
and-
energy because
yeah.
if I don't, then they won't.
I believe you, and
So, like, I
I
try
think
and
there is like a
Yeah.
connection. It works that way,
Yeah.
but sometimes it might just kill. Like once I did that on a Polish open mic, I started myself like I was like with a lot of energy, and I started and I like almost shouted like, "Oh, how are you guys doing?"
With your
And there
tin
was
hat.
like, there was, and it was silent,
Yeah.
and only this one girl was like, "Wow, a lot of energy."
Well, okay, so this is I'm very much aware of that, and I'm very much aware of how energy is translated into the audience. I'm very much aware of the effect that it has. I'll give you an example of Warsaw last night. Last night I did a comedy gig in Warsaw, a very, very tiny room, almost like a cigar lounge, very fancy, but tiny, dude, very small. And I realized that I couldn't come with that high level of energy in such a small room, right? I'll just be shouting at a bunch of strangers. So exactly, yeah, right. So I and it's not a very small room, very intimate. So I brought it down a level. So I did the same set, but I just did it a lot more softer. So I didn't hit the punchlines as hard, and I didn't come off as enthusiastic. I was a bit more slow and a bit more.
It could be good to maybe
Calm
build up the energy.
Yeah, exactly, and which is what I did.
And
First,
and
just so
and
you're
it didn't-
grounded in
it
reality
didn't-
more, because if the room is not at level 10,
Yeah.
they're at level 5, so start at level 5 and go to level 10.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. So like that's why that's exactly what I'm doing, aren't I?
And
That's
there's
exactly what I'm saying. Is that
what's
you bring the energy.
and how many
depending on the
levels
room, you
are
gotta
there?
read the
How
room.
many levels are there?
It depends on how big the room is.
I don't know, you're the mathematician.
It depends.
here.
It also depends on how big the room. This room was really small, so
So
I
only
brought my
level
level
5.
down. I brought my level way down, and then when I actually watched a different comedian, when I watched him perform, and I was like, oh, I could have raised my level at least a little bit more, actually, right? So like it's and also it does like sometimes the jokes don't work if you don't shout as well, because you're bringing like a certain amount of feeling and hate or pain and suffering.
I'll
within
try
it.
that next one. I'll shout my
Yeah,
every
this
joke.
I'm a little
That
bit
kind of
afraid.
feel.
Like usually I'm pretty
Yeah.
cool, calm, and collected. And tomorrow I have to tell this story about the day that I did coke on this experiment, and I have to be absolutely blazing, right?
Yeah,
and I'm a
exactly.
little.
Oh, that's nice.
That's gonna be different.
This
Or
is, yeah.
I've tried it last
Well, you could
time as well, but
practice
yeah.
it in your apartment, and also what I find is with my
I've practiced being on coke.
very good.
I practiced
at home.
coke.
No,
Yeah,
but what I mean
yeah,
is like,
yeah.
well, I mean, I very much try to, whenever I tell my jokes, I try to relive that moment. So I try to feel the feeling of.
Oh, he's a method actor. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
well, you have
Oh,
like, well, that's
God.
what you have to, like. So whenever I do I do an argument with the man and the wife.
Oh, yeah.
and with like my girlfriend. Look,
You
a
call
few-
your
a few
mother
of-
and
a
it's
few of
like,
the
what
jokes.
did you say to that day?
And like I really have to I really try and method act that scenario and feel what I'm to bring out that pain and suffering, It's like when I tell jokes about my parents as well, I I bring that disappointment. I try to feel the disappointment of myself and try to bring it into the...
their disappointment.
Obviously, I'm over it, and it's hilarious. But I've still got to bring my mind to feeling this. I've still got to feel what I'm saying. You can't just say it, because then it doesn't work. You've got to feel
The disappointment.
the disappointment, so it translates into the words, and then that's how they respond and act. So. And I think I do enjoy it. Like, I can't just tell flat jokes. I was inspired by like Bill Hicks and George Carlin. So like these guys are fucking aggressive and
especially
they have something to say, man. They have something to say.
Yeah, but I don't know how so for
Listen
that
to me. Sorry.
So for that to work, it's I think I saw people like when they try it and they're like amateurs. It doesn't come off that well. People think they're crazy because if you hear just like Bill Hicks, and if he's not a superstar or George Carlin or whatever.
How do you think the first 2 years of my comedy career went? I was just a madman yelling at people on stage, and then telling them that that they were idiots because they didn't understand what I was saying.
Yeah, well, I thought that
terrible.
You were doing that. You did that last Monday as well.
Fuck
that
you.
was a good joke. Fuck you.
It was.
I was really thinking the same.
Well, I mean, okay.
How the phrase
Can
the
we
joke
just
is
give?
all-
Can we just give context here? I told one joke that didn't work, which I thought was a very good joke. So I told the audience, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
That's a good joke, and it is a good joke. And then I went on.
Explain it to us, and it wasn't.
And then I went on and killed the rest of the night. So like, it was just that one joke. And I also feel that like I didn't say like "fuck you," like "oh fuck you." It was like a comedic
like
"fuck you." It was
a comedic fuck you.
It was
Like a rape. It was a funny. It was a funny fuck.
It was a funny fuck. It was a funny fuck you, and they got it. They enjoyed it, and then I penetrated them with my laughter throughout the rest of the night, and it went fine. It went fine. Yeah.
Everyone was
Question.
satisfied.
So,
Can I go for a piss?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, you gotta get your water.
You talk. Be funny. Be funny.
You know what Bill Clinton said once, that he smoked but he did not inhale.
Yeah. Why did he say that? Seriously, because like if you smoke the weed, then if you actually inhale, then you have the devil in you, or is it like being a virgin and like, oh, no, I only sucked the penis. I didn't have the cum inside of me, so it's okay.
No,
I've only had it up the butt, so I'm still good to marry. No, bitch, you're a slut. No one should marry you ever. JK.
There are certain cultures that believe.
JK?
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about JK Rowling. No, but it's just JK, just
Because
kidding.
she is currently rolling with those punches, isn't she? Jesus Christ.
And she's punching down.
Was she punching down?
Is she
Why?
punching- is
Oh,
that
so
right?
on trans people or what?
Yeah, of course.
All right, were you gonna play us a song or not?
You're gonna play a song, and
not
we
now.
were gonna get into it, weren't we?
We're gonna do a song, but first we
Yeah, the
ended last
question.
part
Okay.
basically with
Right.
Nick saying that he penetrated people in the audience
with my laughter.
with laughter. Yeah,
With the laughter.
With your jokes, though.
With my jokes.
with the jokes.
With my jokes.
And I wanted because I'm a nerd, and I checked before doing a podcast. I checked some podcast statistics from 2022.
Yes.
And there's this one thing that is called penetration rate that caught my attention. And penetration rate is apparently just, it's nothing sexual, unfortunately. It's just
Wait, so you're saying this
looked
is
at me
not
when you
this
said
is
that.
not the percentage of people that have inserted the podcast into someone sexually?
no.
Whoa, I'm
So-
shocked.
A podcast penetration rate is just, you look at all the users, you look at all the users of the podcast, and you divide it by all the users of the internet, whatever. It's so to get a number of how much people that use the internet listen to podcasts.
Oh, but that's gonna be a seriously sad number.
Well, yeah, sure, but it's then you compare it to like different
compare it
countries,
to
and
anything,
and the
right.
question
Holy
is,
shit! Yeah, let's do that for this podcast, and then we'll see. Is it more? Do you have a bigger chance of listening to this podcast or getting hit by a fucking meteorite?
But this fucking
yeah.
this podcast is only on its second one.
Or by thunder?
And also, this podcast is not on any fucking social media podcast apps.
Yeah, we didn't really do
platforms.
great. Yeah,
It's
okay.
on YouTube. So probably
well, first
Zero.
we'll have to make it
penetration rate. Anything else?
We have
What's the
no,
penetration
but
rate?
it's just question for you.
Yes.
You can try to ask. So,
Okay.
what countries have the biggest penetration rate for podcasts?
obviously America.
Yeah, I would say U.S. Yeah.
You say, so then you'll be surprised. The Scandinavian countries, but the
Yeah,
Really?
they don't have friends. No one knows each other. They live far away from each other. It gets dark really early. People have
Yeah.
no social life there.
Well, yeah, my dad is now in Norway, and he told me that
Oh, man.
you know it's just like it's
What do they
the day.
My sister was in Norway too for half a year. She got depressed there.
Yeah, just but what he said is
Dude, I
that
got depressed here.
you. It's
In this room with us right now.
During COVID in the winter. Jesus Christ.
anyway. It's just the night is so like it's short. And let's say in Norway, like 2 months ago, I was talking to my dad. He was like, "Okay, so the sun is, the sunset is at like 11 p.m. and then the sunrise is like 4 a.m. So you get like 5 hours of not sun, which sucks. If that would be just I don't know sun in Spain or whatever, that would be great. But that's just in Norway.
It's the two
Basked.
exaggerations, isn't it? You get the two extremes. You've got
Wealth? What do you mean?
No, you've besides that, you've got like 5 hours of sunlight in the winter,
Yeah.
plus minus, and then you've got only 5 hours of darkness in the summer. So in the summer, you're super happy, apparently, but apparently not. As Mariusz is trying to explain, is that you're not actually because it's too much sunlight.
But it's
two extremes.
But anyway, this penetration rate is not telling you which country has the most podcasts because that would be US. Because they have like, I have some numbers. Over
Yeah.
1 million active podcasts
Because
listeners.
I guess
100 million
In where?
in the US.
100 million.
100 million, yeah.
But how do they even record that? Like, what kind of podcast? Where they look? I feel like that's a very
Any. Like there's
ambiguous number because, like, what
Holy
is
shit, bro?
What do they determine
That
as a
is
podcast?
insane.
That's 1/3 of the country because isn't America like 300
So-
million?
but
It's 1/3
everyone
of
is
the country.
driving there and they put it on the radio.
Yeah.
Yes,
True
This
that.
is true. Well, isn't NPR like so? Like you have NPR,
But also
and then you have
we're
the other
heavily
guy.
Americanized in Europe. So
Yeah.
I listen to actually nothing but your American podcasts, which is kind of bad.
The Joe Rogan podcast.
No, no. Well, yeah, I watch highlights.
Well, look at this. We're making a podcast in Europe, yo.
So-
We're going to be one of the percentages that have that are popular in Europe. That, like,
Yeah,
So obviously our competition is actually very low.
Yeah, so what's
Like this is
maybe.
something that I generally try to avoid to think about, but he actually looked it up. Like, okay, how little of an impact are we gonna have doing this tonight?
Yeah, and this is
And he's just like he's laying it down. Like, okay, you're,
All right,
you're
tell
a-
us how shit
you're
we
100
are,
million
Mariusz.
and
Let's go.
one.
Tell us how shit we are.
Oh, so how many podcasts are there?
There's
Yeah, it's-
100 million American podcasts.
No, that just listeners.
Oh.
So the number of podcasts is over 2.5 million, almost 2.5 million. Is that the number of podcasts?
Yeah, but American podcasts have
And
a
how
better
many of those
penetration.
podcasts
So there's as a European podcast, you have a disadvantage.
Well, yeah,
already.
that's true.
But near the bottom end of that 200 million are podcasts that only last 6 months. Then people quit. Then there's new podcasts. So like there's a constant influx
sure,
of new
for sure,
podcasts
for sure.
and a constant
Yeah, is
deflux
this
of
current?
podcasts.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, so how many? I would be interested to know how many podcasts have been in existence for at least longer than 5 years, like 5 years.
Oh,
or
okay.
more.
That
And
you
then
you'd have to look up.
No, because those are established podcasts. Those are like actual fucking podcasts.
Yeah.
5 years.
So another question is that fastest growing nations in terms of podcasts. So what you're saying is that
Europe.
Yeah,
It has
it's
to be
like-
Europe.
It has to
right?
be Europe,
I know
right?
Europe's not a
Yeah,
country.
just,
I
just,
know Europe's
just
not a
any,
country.
any,
but, like,
any country that is in the coming up. So Poland, maybe.
Poland.
Poland. Oh no,
Poland,
maybe.
no, no,
definitely,
not Europe.
definitely South Africa.
South Africa.
Definitely
Not
South
on, not
Africa.
on my list.
Not
So
on your list,
okay, so
okay.
that's some study that's 2022. So
By
it's a
who?
fairly new
What
one, and it's
propaganda is this?
so what's right now the best country to start a podcast is Chile. South America.
Because that's where all the upping.
All
Is
right.
that because
We're moving.
people
We're
are,
moving to
We're
Chile.
moving to
Is that
Chile.
because there's lots more
Amigos.
people listening to podcasts and there's.
But we'll also have to do stand up in Chile. So okay, let's try our Chile stand up.
How many English?
Yo.
How many English podcasts are happening in Chile?
This I don't know.
No. Do you have the number of how many podcasts are being created in Europe?
Oh.
Okay, and then I want you to tell me how many podcasts then are being created in Europe in English?
Well, I am not that well prepared.
Oh, okay. So you're half.
I'm half prepared.
I know. I'll come with one fact and then just fucking
wing it.
Wing it
No,
from there.
so that's.
This is why we're at the bottom,
but
Mariusz.
however,
this is raise your game.
No, but the South America thing, it's actually a thing. On the list of fastest growing countries in terms of podcasts, like Chile, Argentina, and Peru.
So it's South America.
Yeah, so it's South America. And then
What about
Mexico,
Venezuela?
which is
Venezuela.
North America, but
Yeah.
some of our hosts.
Victor.
I mean,
Oh.
those South American people do like
mean,
the
he was-
fucking yap. So I have an Argentinian friend.
Another freak
He
take.
might.
So that was a Freek take on Warsaw.
stereotypes.
And now Freek
could be
take on
segment.
Hashtag I'm not
Chile.
racist.
Could be a segment.
Oh yeah.
So what about, should we make
Freak's
some
takes.
chili dedicated podcast where we just pander to Chile?
Yeah.
Let's have some jokes about Chile, yo. Could your country?
Very spicy country. I
Could you?
guess.
Ooh, yeah.
I
that's
guess.
Good
one.
one.
The
That's
women
a
are
good
very,
one.
That's one.
The women are very hot.
Could your country be any longer?
If
What is your country? Is it a very thin penis, or is it like a sword?
a country has a lot of IBS issues from all the
What's that?
chili.
ABS.
From all the Chile.
Stingray. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so there's no Victor today, but he's
What's
in
the
our
temperature?
hearts.
What's the temperature
IBS.
over there?
Huh?
What's the temperature over there?
I'm sure it's very hot.
Not chilly. Oh, y'all went ready. Holy shit! I thought you guys would be up on
We were focused
that.
on the fucking
Well,
the heat. The
After
heat
a
chili.
second beer, we're just you
We're
you
focused
caught
on
off.
the heat chili.
caught-
Yeah, very good, very good, very good.
Okay,
Yeah, it was the beer that did that. Yeah.
because usually I get all the jokes. Okay, so and I checked those statistics and I was wondering about podcasts because what I'm not I don't understand this kind of podcast culture. Yeah, but I remembered
He says on a podcast.
that there was actually one podcast that I was listening to, and that was the Rick Gervais show.
What was that with the,
yeah, they
the
made
bald
it.
guy? Was that
The
with
Yeah.
Carl Pilkington.
Carl
Yeah.
Pilkington?
True that.
Dude, that
might have been the first.
That guy's
thing.
fucking laugh is. I'm sorry. Like you can only take so much of Ricky Gervais' laugh. Like Jesus Christ, that's a lot of like forced ha-has.
Yeah. Anyway, but Nick,
Sorry,
remember
I just
when we were
try
coming
going to
back,
sleep with
we were
that shit.
we were
It's
coming
hard.
back from our great success in Poznan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was.
that great show we did,
Oh,
and it was a lot of great feedback. And we were we were driving back to Wroclaw, and you were insisting that Carl Pilkington is not a real person, that he's a character.
Oh
And
yes,
we have
he's
to, you know.
definitely a character.
Oh, that's
This guy's
I
married.
don't believe
this
that.
guy's married. He has
No.
a family. He used to be a producer. He is a producer. He used to be a producer before he became Carl Pilkington. He was a human being.
before he became.
He was a human being
On his
with a family.
on his birth
with a
certificate,
family.
it says Carl fucking Pilkington.
Did he not have that
fucking,
peanut
not
head
fucking.
before his
The
marriage?
dude was a producer on a TV
Come
show.
on.
That's how Ricky Gervais met him, because he was a producer, right? And with a family. He was a producer on like
He was
on
a
TV shows.
producer?
On TV shows, yeah.
He was a producer.
He was a thing. So he was a
Okay.
producer on TV shows with a family.
No, then
There's
impossible.
no ways
Yeah,
that
how would it
fucking
be
weird
such a
Carl
simple?
Pilkington?
That-
And also, might I remind you that the Carl Pilkington on this Ricky Gervais thing where he sent him around the world. Remember that one?
It is on abroad.
Yeah, Idiots Abroad, right? You get Idiots Abroad, but okay, he is a little bit like the guy on Derek. Have you seen Derek?
Yeah.
So like he's but he's obviously acting. He's obviously
So
acting
my take
in
on
Derek,
that is that
which
you're
means he's
bullshit.
obviously-
That's not true. I think this is a real person.
Do you think it's a real person?
And I
think
some-
you like to think he's a real person.
But okay, how could he be such a simple man if he was a producer? You have
Okay,
to have
that's
with
true.
a family, who's fucked someone like that?
Okay, that's true. But
Kids
I
and a
have
family.
some arguments. Okay, I'm not
You
just
won
like
the
saying-
lottery.
So that one argument is that I don't think that Rick Gervais and the other guy, how's his name?
Cole Wilkins.
Stephen Merchant.
Stephen Merchant.
I don't
I
think
don't like him.
I don't
I
think
don't
they
like
are that talented to write a character like this. This character is too good for me. If it's an idea, it's an idea of pure genius, and it's just.
I think okay. So I think
cannot
you're giving him too much.
comprehend.
I think you're giving him too much credit. I think
No, I cannot comprehend
I think
how
that
good
Cole
this
Pilkington-
character is.
I think that Cole Pilkington, as a producer working in TV series, I think that he himself had a love for writing. Your Mariusz looks very unhappy with me right now. He's shaking. his head.
This is not
I'm just giving you my opinion.
no.
And
what's-
that he created this character in Ricky Gervais, like they were probably dicking about, and they were dicking about with this character that he had created, and Ricky Gervais is like, that's a good fucking character. I'm gonna lean into that, and then they exaggerated it. And
I guess
became
it
Pulp
comes
Pilkington.
from him still. Just how
Yeah,
he
but he's not a
is.
real. But the
Yeah.
whole point is
Yeah.
that that's not how he really is in real life.
I think maybe what
Yeah,
they did
not
is
as
that
extreme.
I can't believe it.
Maybe not
for
the-
me. It's impossible.
Sure.
No idiot, no one like that can exist to be a producer to do TV shows and have a
Indeed.
family. Like it doesn't add
Yeah,
up. Although I'm not good at adding, Mariusz is. So maybe you've got
no.
the
I'm
calculations
just what I'm
right.
saying is that first of all, if imagine you're Ricky Gervais or whatever, and you have this.
I
Good,
do every day actually.
Yeah.
I get up.
you have
My
this kind of a
hero.
great idea for this character, and you have this guy, and you're wasting that on a podcast.
Huh?
What's good in that?
No, but they made a show out of it.
They made that was just afterwards, right?
Also,
They-
I think
Right.
so. Let me get this straight. Your question is that what you're saying is that they wasted his character on a podcast. Is that what you're saying?
No, of course. It's. I'm not saying it was totally wasted, but this guy did The Office, right? That was a TV
Ricky
show.
Gervais.
It's what he got, how it's called, Emmy or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that he was on top, and then he's like, okay, so I have this another great idea, and I'll put it in a podcast that it turned out great. That's like the podcast they had a lot of listens.
Yeah, it
and
happened to be a
downloads.
big
Well,
hit.
Sure,
The
sure.
thing
But
about-
still, it's nothing compared to a TV show or whatever.
But
Yeah, but
it is a
also
TV show.
maybe
it's called
just-
Idiots Abroad.
no, that's we're talking about the podcast, dude.
No, but he's saying he didn't turn it into. Are you saying he turned the podcast into a TV show?
Yeah.
Isn't
That's what
wasn't
it-
that
'cause it
Idiots
was-
Abroad?
No, dude.
It
Come
was
on, what the
animated.
fuck? We're talking about the what podcast? What was it called?
The Rick
show?
Gervais show.
Yeah, the Ricky Gervais show.
Okay,
And-
because
and
I
that-
haven't actually because I didn't really enjoy the podcast. I didn't really listen to a lot. So I didn't really. Are you talking about? Because
Cool story,
I do
bro.
know about that because they told stories and there was like they made animations out of
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
idiocy.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
you
know
know,
that, yeah.
maybe they just didn't have time for making
maybe-
it into a show.
Or
and they-
maybe just maybe.
podcast easy.
So I feel like what Mariusz is really trying to say here is that what you. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. What you're trying to say is that they didn't. Not only monetize it enough, but they didn't really use it to its full advantage. They didn't use the character
Yeah.
as good as they could have. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm implying.
Okay, that's what you're implying. Okay, so the way I see it is that listen to how much fun Ricky Gervais is having, right? So to me, it was just these guys. Like he didn't want to monetize. He's just having a good fucking time with his mates.
yeah,
Like, that's what I say. It's like a dude just having. He's got enough money.
Will be
Why does he
pretty-
need too much? He's just having a good time with his mates. And then they turned that into Idiots Abroad, and I feel like for me, everything just fell into place. Like it wasn't as planned as you would like them to have it. It's like, okay, so we're gonna take this character and we're gonna monetize it as much as possible and make it as best as possible, make series out of it, and it's just a bunch of dudes having a good old time.
No, so my impression
I
is that what Freek said, that it's maybe it was they in the show they exaggerated a little bit the character, but it was there. It was rooted in the personality of this guy and his way of thinking. He has a very strange way of thinking, and which is fascinating and all that. So that's my take on that. That
because he acts dumb, but he still has pretty interesting ideas.
Yeah, his
Even-
ideas aren't
even
actually
though-
that stupid.
True.
Yeah, and that's
So
why
yeah,
they need
that
Ricky
actually
Gervais.
it makes sense then for Ricky Gervais to laugh as loud as he does, because he's not actually sitting with a mongoloid,
He's not exactly,
but he's sitting with a friend that's bullshitting around. Like,
well, and that's why I found it. That's why I couldn't stand to watch it for so long, because this guy's obviously the way he says
that
it.
makes it
listen to
better
how he says it. He's obviously saying it
he
as
sticks
bullshit.
to the character so much.
Yeah, but he's saying it, but actually what he says isn't actually that stupid.
No, but there was this in the first
He
episode.
says some,
Okay,
like, real things.
in the first episode of the podcast, he said,
He's a genius.
"We have to do something. We have to do something about, the control of population."
Yeah.
And he says
Yeah.
that he has this idea that when you're about 78, right, when you just lived your life, so that's I don't know how he came up with 78, but so you're 78 and then you die, and there's a baby inside of you, which comes to life, right? You die, but there's a newborn life, but it's inside you, like it goes out. Because with science and stuff, you should be able to do this kind of a thing.
Sure. Okay.
And so that's one of the ideas that you said, that some of the
No, wait, you birth a baby at the age of 78.
yeah,
So it's self-replicable, but then that does but that doesn't create any new people. So if Adam and Eve made, like, they fucked and then they had one kid, and they just if those two died, and then there would only be two people on Earth forever. So, like, okay, so that's
But we have more people now, so
yeah.
exactly because we don't do that, as he said. We fucking
Yeah, but if Adam and Eve did that, there'll be not too much people right now, right?
yeah, exactly.
When someone dies,
There'd be two people. Yeah.
it'll be,
Yeah, exactly. You're the mathematician. You should know. Yeah, but he says stupid shit like that, which is, but also funny, but also like, oh, that's great.
no, but it's
Interesting to mull around in your head. Very interesting ideas to mull around in your head, which is very interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So my idea for this podcast, Freek, was to make ask questions to Nick and see his response.
Yeah, why not?
So, and the question was about Carl Pinkerton, or what?
No, just general questions. Like, for example,
Yeah, give me an
the
example.
guy in Carrefour that was
Yeah.
this thief that was dragged from the.
What?
You remember that there was a guy in Carrefour? You said, like, guys beware, there are thieves in town.
Thieves. I think he says thieves.
Yeah.
See, I'm like the English native translator. All you second language speakers.
Yeah, I was
the things you
thinking
incorrectly pronounce and say, I managed to like, oh, you meant that. Okay, so everyone else can understand what the fuck you're saying. Okay,
So I was trying to say thieves.
thieves.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the Carrefour there was a thief, and the thief.
And the thief was dragged from the Carrefour. That's your story. That's what you told us last time.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. We're talking about. Yeah. So, but this is not a joke. This is like, I thought you were talking about a joke. This is a real thing. Flippin'. There was a Middle Eastern looking dude. I can see that. There was a Middle Eastern looking dude. I can see why you did this now. Okay. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna lean into it. Fuck you. There was a Middle Eastern guy, right, in the cops. So I've been living in Poland for 4 years. I've never seen any crime, at all, right? And this is the first time in Poland. I've been here for 4 years that I saw a guy being handcuffed and led out of the Carrefour. It was a Middle Eastern guy, and just being led out. And my first thought was, what's this fucking? How did he get in the country? Like, what's he doing here? He doesn't belong here. Right? Because everyone in Poland.
Whoa.
No, because think about it. Poland is so strict with their laws, right? Like everyone, to me, the way that how difficult it is for me to get in this country. It was so difficult for me to get in this country. The first time I had the visa and everything, and I got to the airport for the first time, I had to wait 45 minutes because they were asking me questions. They wanted me to prove documents. I had to go on my Gmail account to find like communications with the embassy in South Africa to prove that I should be here. Meanwhile, everything's on I've got the fucking visa. Let me in. And I'm white. Hello. And I look like you guys. And they fucking kept me there for 45 minutes. And made me feel like they're not gonna let me in.
You felt like you should have had white privilege.
And I'm a fucking no. I have the documents, and I'm teaching. I'm gonna contribute. I'm paying taxes, right? And even with all the proof that I'm here with work, paying taxes, they already fucking checked me in South Africa at the Polish embassy, right? It was so difficult, right? how the fuck is this oak like coming obviously from another country? How did he get in here? Right, and he's not contributing. He's just fucking stealing and ruining my day with his bullshit.
Whoa, he ruined your day by getting arrested?
No, he didn't ruin my day.
Just in your proximity?
But like, it's like, oh shit, okay, so there's people here. I need to be more careful now. It's like I can't just enjoy.
It's insane to
there
think
are
that.
thieves, Nick. There are thieves.
How can you? Whoa! So for 4 years you haven't seen any crime.
Anything.
That's
it was the first time, and I was
weird,
like, oh, fuck.
first of all,
get this guy
But
out of
then-
here because I
Okay,
worked
so-
so hard to get in this country.
so you fucking think that your experiences are statistically accurate through the whole country?
No,
What the fuck? You're deluded.
absolutely not. I don't think that. But
Okay, if you never see any crime, you just expect that there's no crime at all in the whole country.
exactly.
And so then, after in the 4th year, you see one crime, and then crime has just gone from 0 to 100.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah, what I think is
I'm talking about this specific experience. I'm just
what
talking
I
about
think
this
is really
specific experience.
unfortunate.
So I wasn't mad.
Yeah,
at,
so you can't say anything about safety in Poland based on that one experience.
What I think is really
what does that
unfortunate
mean?
is
No,
is
I mean
that-
Poland, because Poland is super safe. Poland is super safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
it's fucking amazingly safe. Yeah, so I'm not complaining that it's unsafe anymore. I'm just saying it's been 4 years and this was my first time, and I'm just saying
And
that
of all of
that,
dudes,
I'm just saying that it.
this
that,
guy
that,
happened to be from the Middle
I'm
East.
just saying that it upset me because I enjoyed living in the like I know there's thieves and things. I know people steal bikes here. I know like shit happens. I know there's crime in Poland. But
in Warsaw, there's a lot of,
there's so much rape in Warsaw. Jesus Christ! But you see, the thing is, I was living in a very nice fantasy land, and I enjoyed living in the fantasy land because I'd never been to Europe. And coming from South Africa, where there's so much crime and rape, as I've said, I've been stabbed, woken up with a knife to my throat. People have been murdered in the house next door to me. My aunt, she left the country.
So how does one shoplifter shock you?
So, well, that's the thing. So, like, when you think, oh fuck, finally, I'm gonna get out of all of that, and I haven't heard, you never hear anything bad because they don't report like much crime. You don't see news like crime on the news in Poland, right? Or in
because
Europe.
you don't watch Polish TV.
Exactly. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. So I'm not exposed to that. So all I'm trying to express is that I really enjoyed living in my. I knew it was a delusional land, but I really enjoyed it. Like, oh, Poland's really safe. I'm so glad to be out of South Africa. It's so great to be out of fucking South Africa and everything's great. And then I finally saw it and it's like, now I have to confront with the reality that yes, I do have to be aware of like forgetting my keys, not locking my apartment door. Like it brings all that reality like, oh shit, okay. Now I have to confront it. And it's something that I expressed, that's all. Yeah. And the guy was Middle Eastern. Because I know that's what you want me to say. Because it's funny. But like that was just like
what significance has that to you?
Yeah.
Dude, there are so many comedians who have explained this point. It's like it has no significance. It's just that's who it was. Like there was a guy. Don't you want to know what he looked like and who he looked and how he was?
Sure,
like don't you want to know like the. Yeah, I didn't say like it was this. Racial slur word.
Just
that
the
was
way
there.
you.
It
Okay,
was
just
like
the way you told it. That time
At that time,
triggered
that was
me.
it.
You were triggered. I don't know. Comedians could get triggered.
Triggered.
If they're from Netherlands,
wasn't
they
From
can.
Netherlands, you social
I wasn't
justice
angry.
warrior over
I wasn't angry. I was
You were
just
upset.
It felt like not a dog whistle, but it just sounded like. Because there was this one Mediterranean, this Middle Eastern.
He couldn't be Mediterranean. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
He was
And
the
now
Caramel Bay
it's
with a nice
unsafe
beard.
because there's this one Arabic guy.
And what
that
is he
was-
doing here?
Yeah.
And it's only the
What are you
Arabs.
doing?
It's
You're
only
just
the Arabs
shoplifting.
that are stealing the fucking. No, that's not at all, dude.
All right.
I definitely know that there's a lot of. Like,
Yeah, no, but it is true. Like in the Netherlands, we are very. We're
Freek
easily
triggered Dutchman.
We're
There
easily
we go.
triggered. We easily triggered for racism. Let's say.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
For sure.
But
Just like
you
any
see,
other
that's so
Western-
you sound like the fucking white South Africans in Cape Town. It's like, I need to make up for my past, so I need to be oversensitive about race. Dude, fucking come on.
No,
Like-
no. You cannot.
We're
no.
the Dutch, and
If
we've
you
done
tell
so
a-
much racism. We now need to overcompensate for our past.
No, because if
racism.
you
that's
if
what it
you,
sounds like.
No, if you tell a story that is supposed to impose fear, because that was what you wanted to do, then you need to be
No, I don't wanna
very
impose
careful with
fear.
your wording, not to fucking give a message of these people, us, them.
But what Nick said was
I didn't
that
want to impose fear. I wanted to like.
You told us
What did I say?
you need to be careful
you need
now.
to be, yeah,
Oh, did I?
yeah.
You told us that.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, you guys be careful.
Oh, I didn't.
But then he also said
I'm sorry. I didn't even. I wasn't even aware that I said that.
no. But
I'm
he
sorry,
also
I'm sorry.
he
That's why
also
it's good
said
that I get
remember
triggered.
that Nick. You also said that if the guy would be Polish, you would put the same
I call him a
emphasis
fucking
on
Polak.
Polish.
Yeah, I call him a fucking Polak.
A
Guys, you
fucking
be careful now. There's fucking the Polak stealing. Can you believe it? Yeah, I had no idea.
I
thought-
feel triggered.
because I thought it was just the Arabs, but apparently it's the fucking Polacks too. So like that. So that's what I would have said also.
Yeah.
So like
I
that's
was
the fucking thing.
and I was correcting your racist remark by saying, "Come on, it could have well been a Polish guy because a lot of
It
Polish
definitely-
people steal."
Absolutely, they steal
So,
bikes.
yeah.
I know.
It was just good that
So
I
it was-
jumped in
Okay, just to
To say-
confirm, just to make sure I wasn't
to make
being
sure that
racist.
racism did not occur.
Okay. So I could explain myself and show that I'm racist to all people who steal and do
Yeah.
terrible things. Or is it just called, what is it called? Prejudice? I don't know. Prejudice. There's a funny, well, I don't know if it's a funny joke.
There's actually that's the only time I felt kind of. Well, I don't want to say, but okay. Let me tell you the story. So I was studying. I was doing my math studies, and I went to a conference in Madrid. Or whatever. But there was a bunch of Americans there, and you know, and in that at that school, that was a kind of school for students, but it was in Spain, so they did like a whole disco thingy. It was which was very nice, and the Spanish guys they really know how to dance and stuff. So anyway, but so there was a bar there as well. So you're at the school, but there's with an actual bar. And we were drinking a lot, and those two Americans, they were like drinking. It was like, and they, after a few drinks, they were like, you know, I know some Polish jokes,
Oh, here we go.
and I was like, oh, sure, yeah, why not? I have a sense of humor. Hit me, and he started with that was the only time I felt like, I know, that was really strange because it does the word Polak offends you. And I was just, you know, in as students, I didn't know that was actually could be fine. For me, it was just a Polish word for Polish. Yeah,
Poles. Yeah. Is a Pole.
so I didn't know that, right? So afterwards, just that struck me that he was just like checking me out. Like, this is the name Polak. Is that offensive? Like in The Office, there was this scene where. Michael Scott is talking to Oscar. He's like, "Is there any other term beside Mexican? This is maybe less offensive." So I felt like that. That was really strange.
That's very interesting. You felt racism even though it was
Even though I'm white.
I don't know, because
Not meant
like
to be racism,
for
yeah.
instance,
No, I get that. I get
in Dutch, the word Turk became offensive at some point, and you basically tried to avoid calling people Turks. Do you have
D Dirk or T Turk?
Turk, like from
So
Turkey?
okay, because you were talking to us, and for me at least, because English is my second language, and when I hear what Freek is saying, I can always can figure out at some point. But people like the native English speakers, they're always like, oh, why don't you say? What did you say, that or that? Like when I was in the US, I would just mispronounce slightly. Like instead of thief, I would say thief, and they had no fucking idea what I'm talking about.
It's well, first of all, it's experience and it's accent.
Yeah, sure.
So like if you're, you know, when you learn a language,
I also thought you were talking about individual tooth.
Yeah. So like
in a store,
yeah.
and I was like, oh,
So it's-
which old babcha forgot her, lost
exactly.
her.
So it's two things. It's the accent. So if you speak with a more English accent, or if you're learning a language, it's better to learn the language and use the accent, and you'll be able to pronounce the words better. So if you don't pronounce the English words in the correct accent, then it's difficult to understand. And then the second thing was,
No, but what I was saying that if I hear someone mispronounce things, right? I'm just like, instead of lavender, I was lavender or whatever.
What was it again? Lavender?
Lavender. Lavender and Danielle instead of Daniel.
He's just a little bitch to me, I guess.
Male and female, yeah. Was that it?
No, just what I was trying to say, that for me, it's not that, I don't know what's so hard about just figuring out on your own what's that misspelling is.
It's experience. I think it's experience
Okay.
because I have found that I am better at I'm better at picking up what people are trying to say, because I think it's experience. In my experience, having traveled around the world, I do think and learned.
I guess you learn
different
people's Spanish accent, how they mispronounce what word, or Polish people what do they mispronounce, and
maybe,
you know exactly.
But not even that. It's just.
But
it's context.
Those are actual two different words.
Sure,
That's true.
Sure,
so you can't.
No. But I picked it up because I put everything into context. I also understood that he was saying thieves, and I know that second English language speakers, having taught children, I know that the way that they would pronounce thief is T instead of th, and so I know. Sure. So I'm looking. I'm imagining in my mind the word with the letters. Like, is she saying T-I-E? Like, how would you spell T-I-E? No, would you spell? It's saying teeth, T-E-T-H, but then he's not saying. So like I figure out what phonetic word you're trying to say.
You basically, whenever he speaks, you see the Matrix.
I see the word, and I predict what he's actually trying to say, and I think about the context. Whereas, having been in China and even in Poland, some people just, even when I speak Polish and I know it's correct because it's worked before, but because I'm not saying it with an accent, they just freeze. And they're like, no fucking idea what you're saying. Sorry, can't help you. It's like, I know this. I've said this before. It's worked before at a different Żabka, but because you're like 20 years older, you just free. You don't know what to do.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
People just freak out.
Exactly the effect
like,
I'm talking about, right? You go to a Żabka and let's say you tried your Polish and it worked once, but this other person cannot just figure out what's going on.
But it's also happened to me. Like sometimes when people will speak, when I'm learning a language, like in Polish, and if I'm not prepared, if someone speaks Polish to me and I'm not mentally prepared for it to like translate it in my head, I'll freeze up and I'm like, I can't, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. But then when I think about it, like if I just take a few seconds to think about it, it's like, he was trying to say that. Fuck, I know that.
Yes, I think what we should do is that I'll be talking and then you'll be interpreting, right? On this podcast.
Well, every now and then, only when I don't understand you, and I think it's happened once so far. What I found interesting is with the guy saying Polak to you, is that it's just the meaning of words, right? So the meaning of the word Polak to you meant nothing, but to him and time, his culture and his community, wherever he comes from, the word Polak was offensive. So to him it was an offensive word, but for you that same word had complete different meaning.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, I know it with the word Turk. It just at some point it got shouted at people, hey, Turk. That
as in referring to the Turkish. Polak. Referring to the Turkish.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're specifying nationality when you don't necessarily need to, or
my God,
race.
You sound like a social justice warrior. Oh, my word. Doesn't matter. Like it's
but that's
dude.
how,
that's the whole point. It makes it fun. Like
for sure.
Like it's part of the fucking jokes. I don't know. That
wasn't a joke. You weren't telling us a joke.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to explain. Like it's
exactly.
fucking.
So it wasn't a joke.
What is? Like, why do you have to be so careful of racism? Why are you so careful of offending? Why are we so careful of offending people? Can't people just embrace who they? I don't know. Embrace who they are. Like, why is it? Why do we have to be so sensitive nowadays?
No,
why are you so sensitive?
No, you got to communicate clearly.
Where does that come from?
You got to communicate clearly is all.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't use unnecessary information. That's what we're at math school. That's what they tell us.
Well, this podcast can go to hell then. I think we should actually wrap it up.
Sure, fair enough.
Any last thoughts before?
Don't be racist.
Definitely.
And
also, like, avoid Warsaw if you're
Avoid
very
Warsaw.
sensitive about rape, because it's 98% once again.
Okay, that's right. Mariusz, your turn.
My last thoughts is that, I think that,
You really wish you had your ukulele now, didn't you?
yeah.
didn't
So
even play a song.
Hyle is
You
always
didn't
warning
play a
me
song.
that I shouldn't talk without my ukulele, and that's I think this podcast proved his point. So yeah.
Okay,
All
there
right.
you go. Mariusz, the Dujo Downer. All right. we have Freek,
The race cop.
the triggered Freek, the triggered Dutchman, and Nick, the
Apparently the SJW.
the stallion. Play us out with some music.
All right.
Can we do that?
That was Cour Va Much.